Live. Hey, we're on. How's everyone doing? I hope you are good.
Staying cool, I hope.
Oh man, how about that? So, it is time for episode number 260 of our button show. What does this button do? It's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us, Geeks on Tour. I want to remind everyone that you should, if you're watching on YouTube, click on that bell to get notified. Be subscribed. It really does. Please help us. Because it does help us when you subscribe. Thanks. All right.
Oh, I
Well,
never change this. I have them
all right.
wrong order.
In the wrong order.
I do.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I do.
Then we'll just do the quick tip first. How's that sound?
Yep.
Okay. What do you have there, Chris?
So this episode is all about editing your photos, making your photos look better using Google Photos. And for the most part, we're going to stick to the simple, basic, free tools. But if you haven't seen Magic Eraser, you've got to see it. So we're going to start by showing you Magic Eraser, which is one of the premium tools available. Video 791. Magic Eraser started out only available on the Pixel. It is now available for all phones, not just Pixels. So we want to show you. I'm going to use my Samsung for this one, but it does work just the same on the iPhone. Oh, you do need to be a paid subscriber. If you are just using the free Google Photos 15 gigabyte account, then you will see this option when you go into edit, but it won't work. It will say, hey, you need to pay if you want to have this option. There's lots of editing tools that are for paid subscribers only. Now, being a paid subscriber is only $2 a month. You know, it's worth it. It is worth it for these tools. Okay, see if you agree. Watch this. So I go into Google Photos. Here's a photo of us on the beach, and notice those two people in the background. I tap on Edit, and then Magic Eraser appears right away if it's a photo that is appropriate for Magic Eraser. But if it doesn't, then it's under the Tools. It's under Tools, and you'll notice a multicolored 1. That means you must be a Google One subscriber. That's what I was talking about, minimum $2 a month, in order for this feature to work. All I have to do is tap Magic Eraser. It investigates the picture and it says, I'll bet you would like to have those people in the background gone. Notice how the people in the background have been outlined. I tap Erase All, and they're gone. This was a picture we took in Bali of a statue that was awesome. I want to get rid of this guy. This is not a friend. This is just somebody that got into my picture. So I'll tap Edit, and I'll tap Magic Eraser. But you'll see the suggestions that it finds is not what I wanted. Since this guy is so big, it thinks that that's somebody who belongs in the picture and it wants to delete these other folks. No, that's not what I want. So what I do is I just rub over him. And notice I am not exactly outlining him, but Magic Eraser does exactly outline him and gets rid of him. All right. And the last one is probably the most amazing, and that is telephone wires. That totally ruins this photo of a beautiful doorway. And so all of these wires, edit. And now Magic Eraser doesn't come up right in the beginning here. So I'll scroll over to Tools, and there's Magic Eraser. And it will find all those telephone wires. It highlights them. I tap Erase All, and they're gone. But notice there's a couple little things that it didn't get a couple over here. Well, that's fine. I can just rub and it goes away. Rub on that one. I'm not getting it quite right. There we go. And there's a little piece up in the sky here. And that one. So you can keep cleaning it up, but it does the bulk of the work for you. Now, I would still want to straighten and crop and do some other things, but my point is the Magic Eraser is just awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Magic Eraser.
I'm liking it myself for a lot of different reasons.
I mean, I don't use it all the time, but when there's something you don't want in your picture,
right on.
It's just so easy
to
get rid of it.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Jem, and here together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And you have questions about your iPhone, your iPad, and your Android devices, and how do you learn? How do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads, but we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we came up with this YouTube show now called a podcast, where we go into we pick a topic each time and go into a little bit of depth. All of our content is collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
Okay, Chris, where are we now?
Oh, we're home. We're pretty much home all summer. But we took a little staycation, I think they call it. We booked a hotel room right on the beach for the 4th of July on Fort Lauderdale Beach.
That's our anniversary, our wedding anniversary. This one was our 25th, so thanks.
And that is the hotel where we spent our wedding night 25 years ago. So, yeah, it was great. And just that's a fun thing. Do you notice the photo on the top there has me both on the left and the right? How'd you take that photo, Jim?
Oh, that's magic. You can't do that normally. I did that. I did that with a panorama, and I started out front. Chris started on one side, and as I was panning the way around, she moved around behind me and got in the picture. So when I finished the pan, she was there too.
Fun stuff. And lots of fireworks photos.
Oh, those fireworks are for us, you know.
We had such a perfect view. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, hello to our live viewers down there, Linda Belcher and Kathleen Steed. It's cloudy and only 84, so I'm sure it'll warm up for you soon. Colin, good to see you. And Cool Judy from California.
If you're watching this on replay, hello to you too.
Yeah, you too. But these are our live viewers who are here. Linda Barchman, Jane
Hey,
Cole.
Linda. She's coming to Hawaii with us.
Oh, cool. Upstate South Carolina. So we have the Low Country and the Upstate. John, Ron, good to see you. Richard, somebody else who, Detlef. Detlef is back in Berlin.
86 degrees. I figured, oh, well, that's not bad. And then I saw 8 p.m. at night.
That's pretty warm. Richard, okay. Alice, there's more. And
good to see everybody.
yeah, it is. Okay, I'm almost to the bottom. Where am I? Okay, hi from Philly. Honey Bert, great to see you from Hilton Head. Okay, you didn't get eaten by alligators. It's okay. We're good. Okay.
Horrible news.
Really. Okay, and thanks to our premium members, you can become a premium member at geeksontour.com. It's the Join Now button. Okay.
And since this episode is about Google Photos, I thought I would reiterate that our premium members at geeksontour.com have access to the PDF of the Learn Google Photos book. And as I'm updating it, at least partway through, I will update the PDF and I'll let you all know.
And a reminder to our premium members, one of the benefits of premium membership is the Backstage Pass. Right after this show, we will have a Zoom meeting that's open to all of our premium members. You can get that link at an email that Chris sent out earlier today, or you can just go to our website at geeksontour.com and click on the member login page. There's a link there. Just click that and you can get to the Backstage Pass.
So this is about making your pictures better. Don't just accept whatever your camera captures. Just a couple of clicks can really make it better. Now, I decided to show you the after editing pictures first. So just take a look at these two pictures. That's Jim and me with Brisbane, Australia in the background there. And then the bottom one is a funky picture of this rooster. But don't you think they're nice photos? Yeah, I think they're nice photos, colorful, pretty. I mean, I'm not going to win any awards. I'm not a professional photographer, but I want my memories to be something pleasant to look at. So now I want to show you the before photos, the originals before editing. I mean, still, that's Jim and me in Brisbane, but don't you think the other picture was a lot better? And then this silly rooster in a parking lot, I just thought that was crazy, so I took a picture. And this would not be anything to write home about. But once you do just a crop and an enhance, I think you have a much better picture. And this is what we'll be doing a bunch of these. Now, why should you listen to us about Google Photos? I know Google Photos. I am a diamond level product expert for Google in the Google Photos product, and I wrote a book. Now, the latest version of this book was 2021.
Wow.
I mean, that in most terms, that's not very long ago. But in Google Photos terms, it's a while. So I am working on updating the book. And I mentioned chapter 8 here on organizing because when we were at the beach and taking all those photos of fireworks, I thought, boy, I'm not very organized. I'm taking all these pictures of fireworks and I don't have it clear what I'm going to do. I brought the book with me because I figured I'd have some time to go through it and think about editing. And I read the chapter on organizing, chapter 8. And you remember what I said, right?
No.
I said, gee, this is good. Yeah, I need to remind myself what I wrote about organizing, and that chapter was perfectly fine. But you turn to chapter 7 on editing, and every single paragraph has changed. So I am working on it. If you want to know when the new version is released, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. And as I say, premium members will have early access to the PDF version. Now, if you do have the 2021 book, every chapter has these call-outs that gives you a link to a companion web page where updates are listed along with the tutorial videos that we made. So you don't have to buy the new book. You just need to go visit that link. Okay, so we are updating the book. Because in 2021, these premium editing tools did not exist. So what do I mean by premium editing tools? If you open a photo and click on the edit button, you will see some options that have this multicolored 1 in a circle. That means that you must be a Google One subscriber in order for those to work. Everybody will see them, but if you're not a Google One subscriber and you click on it, it will say, not going to work until you become a Google One subscriber. And what does that mean? It means $2 a month paying for 100 gigabytes of storage. That makes you a Google One subscriber and gets you these premium editing tools. So what are those? Let me just show you. The Magic Eraser was one. And I want to show you just a couple more. And then the rest of the show today is going to be on the basic non-premium editing tools. So I took a picture of Jim before the show started with my Samsung Android phone. But I want to show you editing it on the iPad. Why? Because the iPad is bigger. It's nicer for showing these things. And because it's Google Photos, my photos go up to the cloud. I can look at them with any device. So here's the photo I took of Jim right before the show. And the edit button is this one with the 3 lines and the dashes. I tap on edit. And notice the options with the multicolored 1. Those are premium. I am a premium subscriber, so if I click on portrait, notice how his face lights up and the background gets just a little bit of blur. If I tap on color pop, the background goes black and white, so really making his face pop. Now, what if I want more? I can go to Tools and Blur, and I want the background to not only be black and white, but to be blurred. It starts at 0. I drag the slider over, and then also Portrait Light. So if I want, notice as I drag this little bulb around, the lighting on his face changes. I can put it wherever I want. So those are just some samples. Portraits are where you will get the most use out of the premium editing features. If I brought up a photo that didn't have a face on it, those options wouldn't appear. It's specific to the photo so if you opened a photo and you say, well, I don't see background blur, or I don't see portrait, that's because it didn't have a face in it. So that's a little bit about the premium editing tools. Now, Google also has 3 different versions: Android, iOS, iPhone, iPad, and web. They're getting closer and closer and closer now. The changes that have recently been made are getting more of the same features on all 3 platforms, but there's still a little bit of difference, and you'll see those as we go through today. So basic editing tools, I say, are the auto enhance. Usually it just brightens photos. Crop and rotate. Every photo can benefit from a crop and rotate. From a crop, getting closer to your subject. Pop, you'll see what that does. I love pop. Brighten just the shadows. These are all free basic editing tools. Vignette. And I'm going to explain the rows of buttons, explain save versus save a copy, and revert, and I have a video on this. 811. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour. Do you take photos with your iPhone? Do you wish maybe that you took just a little bit better photos? I'm going to show you how easy it is using Google Photos with just a couple of clicks to make any picture look a little bit better. There are quite a few editing tools in Google Photos, but this is just going to show you the basics. How to auto enhance or brighten most any photo, how to crop and rotate, how to use a feature called pop, brighten just the shadows, and vignette, one of my favorites. I'm going to explain the rows of buttons and explain save versus save a copy. And last, I'll show you how to revert if you ever want to undo the edits that you've made. This is an iPhone, a 14 Pro, but it doesn't matter. Any iPhone using Google Photos will work the same way. iPad also. So it is Google Photos, not the Apple Photos that I'm going to be showing you. Open Google Photos, and here is a picture that's way too dark. The edit button is this one in the middle. You tap edit, and then enhance is their way of saying auto. So you just tap that, and you have a very enhanced picture. I tap the enhance, it turns blue. I just tap it again, it undoes itself. And then there are two other options, warm and cool. You might even like warm better than enhance. And notice bottom right hand corner here, I just save. And this photo has been shared that will now be edited. I could save a copy to make a whole other picture, but that gives me two pictures. I like just save. And the iPhone says, well, this is on the device. You need to give permission to modify that picture on the device. Next picture. This needs to be straightened or rotated. You tap the edit, and that is crop. Notice that there's a horizontal bar here. It starts with suggestions, then crop, tools, adjust, and filters. And each one of those options has another row of options for it. Under crop, all you have to do is put your finger where the 0 is and drag this slider, and notice the grid that comes up. I can line the horizon up with the grid, and now that picture is straight. I will save it. Now it gives me an option to save or save as copy. I just want to save it. This picture needs a crop. That is our RV through the windshield of the people behind us. I have to tap it to bring the buttons up and then tap edit. This also, just like the last photo, I want to go into crop. But this time it doesn't need to be straightened. It just needs to be cropped. Notice the 4 dots on either end. I just drag. I can drag from the corner, or I can drag just up and down. Notice if I drag up and down, I can make it get real skinny. What if I didn't want that to happen accidentally? You tap this little button right here, and it will give you the options of what aspect ratio. So I like it to be 16:9. That fills my phone screen. And now I cannot make it skinny. It will adjust and remain a perfect ratio of 16:9. Once the frame is how I want it, I can move the picture around within the frame as well. When I'm done with the crop tool, you tap the check mark. And that's all I'm going to do to this picture. Save and save. This picture needs several changes. Let me tap on the edit. First, I want to crop and rotate. I'll rotate first. Then I'll crop to I don't need as much road, and I want the mountain in the third. Now, I think it should just look a little bit more colorful. Under adjustments, and then the top row, look at all of those. all the way over toward the right, there's something called pop. And then you have a slider to put more or less pop. Can you see what it's doing? It is just making it more colorful and more clear. It's making it pop. I like it. I tap done. I can also add a vignette. That just means darken the edges, kind of give it a frame. I like that. And long press to see your original, so you can tell whether or not you like what you've done. I do. I tap done and save and save. Now here's one that definitely needs to be lightened, but not all of the picture, just where the people are. There's so much in the shadows. Watch this. Tap edit, and it's under adjustments. Remember, there's a whole lot of adjustments. The first bunch is about brightness, and here we have one called shadows. That means just give me more light. As you increase the number, you get more light in the shadows. Now I can see them. I'm done with that. I think I will also give it a little bit of pop. And I can long press and see the original photo. There's the much better photo, and I save. Now, if for some reason I want to go back to my original with this one, I would go back into edit and notice the revert down here. When I click revert, then it's back to the original photo, and I can save that. You'll never have to post a crooked, dull picture again.
Great.
So that was all on the iPhone. And I start with the iPhone because it has all the basics. It has all the premium editing tools as well. But the Android has a couple more things. So everything you just saw on the iPhone, the Android does exactly the same. But there are a couple of more things. So I'm going to demonstrate live here on my Android, my Samsung phone. And I'm going to bring up my samples. So I have a album called Edit Examples. And I'm going to use that picture of us in Brisbane. So notice how dark, it's actually not quite that dark. It's the way that the system is working to show it to you. It's not quite that dark, but it is dark. And I think we're too far away. I think you need to see our faces more. So once again, I'm on Android here. And you see the little green Android that Jim sticks up there to remind you what phone we're using. And I tap the edit button. And first thing, and if you're going to crop a photo, do the crop first, because you don't want it to have to analyze the whole picture when you're going to be cropping stuff out with your future edits. So always do the crop first. And I go to crop, and I just want to get a little closer to us. And I think I do want to keep it 16:9, so I'll tap on the aspect ratio button and go to 16:9 to make sure that I don't crop it different. Oh, I think I like that building over there at the left. Okay, so I have cropped it. I'm done cropping. I tap the little check mark to say I'm done cropping. Now I just tap Enhance over on Suggestions. Suggestions is now the first tool that comes up with editing. It used to be Filters. Filters are all still there, but they're way over at the end. I like that because I didn't particularly care for most of the filters. So it's the first option is Suggestions, and Enhance is the one that is the free one that just brightens it up a little bit. Now, if you do have the premium tools, Dynamic will do a whole bunch of things all at once. Notice how the sky got bluer and you could see a little bit of detail in the trees when I tap dynamic. I tap dynamic off and it goes all the way back to normal. But I'm just going to use the free tool, so enhance. Now then, notice all the trees on the other side of the river. I want to see more details in that. That's under adjustments. Adjustments is primarily where I live. Adjustments has all sorts of options. And the one I want is called shadows. I don't want to brighten the sky. I just want to brighten the shadows. So I go to shadows, and when I drag on the slider to make the number higher, notice how I'm now seeing the detail in the trees across the river, and also the trees that are right on this side also. So I like that. I'm done with shadows. Now I want a little bit of pop. I always see what pop does. I like pop. And that's all the way over at the end. Pop, and just increase it. And notice it already was a 5. How did that happen? That was with the enhance. The enhance actually set a bunch of the other settings, but then you can go in and make them your own. All right. Doesn't that look better? Do you remember what the original looked like? I can show you. All I do is long press on the picture. Now you see what the original, except for the crop. It still shows it cropped, but that's the original color and lighting. I let go and you see what I did to it. Original, edited. I like that one. And I will just save. And save. Next one is this rooster. This silly little rooster that I saw in a parking lot. I bet it was just such a pretty rooster. But this picture is nothing to write home about. I would just delete it, but for the fact that I know I can edit it. Edit. Crop. Get a lot closer to the rooster. There. Crop. And then adjust. And it seems like I almost always need to increase some light in the shadows. And then pop. And I like to add a vignette to this one. So I tap on vignette and over. There's my edited. I long press, and that was the original. I like it. And save. This was a motion photo. When you edit a motion photo, you can save, will eliminate the motion. Or you can save as a copy, and that leaves your original with the motion intact. I'm just going to save. Next is a photo that, where'd it go? There. So this is obviously where I opened an old family album and just took a picture of a photo that was in the album. How many have you done that? That's how I get my photos from old albums into Google Photos. But I want it to look better than this. So I crop it, tap edit, crop, get in so that you can't see the edges of the photo. You don't know that it was And this one does not need light in the shadows. In fact, maybe it's a little bit too light. I can go to adjustments, and this time maybe I will still go to shadows, but I'll make it a little bit darker. What do you think? I think I like it a little bit darker. Notice what I do though. I just go through all the buttons and say, what does this button do? And give it a try and see if you like the results. I'm done with shadows. I'm going to give it a little bit of pop. And now this has kind of a sepia look to it. It's not bad, but it's really just the aging process on the photo itself. Maybe this would look better as a straight black and white. That is what filters are for. All the way at the right end of the filters are some black and white filters. And yeah, I think maybe Vogue or Vista. Yeah, I think maybe Vista makes it clearest. And now, since I am on, this is an iPhone. I'm meant to be using my Samsung for all of this. Everything so far, everything so far has been exactly the same. But now I want to add text. And the markup tool is not available on the Apple. Well, they look exactly the same from the front, don't they? Anyway, all right. So here is...
I think you need to turn up the brightness on that anyway.
Yeah. Here is my Samsung. I will look for that photo. Edit examples. And there. So all the edits that I just did on the iPhone are showing because this is Google Photos. It all syncs. It's all in the cloud. So on my Samsung now, I tap Edit and I scroll over. And after adjustments and filters, there's still more. There's markup. Markup, you can write, you can highlight, or you can just type text. I want to type text. And this is actually a picture of my mom and dad before I was ever a gleam in their eye. So I'm going to identify mom. I type mom, and now I can move that over. If it's tricky, but you can use 2 fingers and angle it a little bit, make it bigger or smaller. I'm just going to leave it right there. And now I want to type dad and move that up above his head. And done. Now I am forced to save a copy. Certain tools, when you use certain tools like markup, you are forced to save a copy. You're not allowed to save over the original. So I still have the original of that photo, plus I have the copy, and it's not in this album. So I will, if you want to see it, I have to go out and say recently added. And there's the one that I just did, Dad and Mom. Okay, one more. Just one more. And that's because it's a motion photo. So this photo, yeah, you have this weird motion. But look at what she's looking at. I actually snapped the photo when she was looking behind. I think I captured in the motion a photo where she was smiling and looking forward. So let me go into Edit. This is on the Android. There is, after Adjust and Filters and Markup, there is Motion. Now we can see the whole motion play out. And you'll see that, yeah, something's weird there. But in the frames down below, you can see that it captured the place where she was looking forward and smiling. That's much better than the one where I snapped the shutter. I tap Export Frame, and now I have that photo. Much better than the one where she's looking back. So those are the features. The Android has all the same as the iPhone, and then the motion frame picker, the markup for text, and the more, just a different way to access Snapseed. We're not going to go there. We did a whole show on Snapseed. Both iPhone and Android can access Snapseed. They just do it a little bit differently. All right. So that was Android. We've done iOS. We've done Android. There's one left: computer and web. Google Photos editing on the computer and web. Up until just recently, just last month, the web didn't have any of this stuff. It had the very, very basics. Now they're rolling out, I have it now, a new editing menu, and we have a video on this. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour. It is July 2023, and sometime last month, Google announced that Google Photos web version has a new editor with some of the fancy new features that have been available on the phones for quite some time. You may or may not have seen it yet. They are rolling it out, so I want to show you what to expect and how to use it. First, let me explain the screen that you're seeing. I have pulled up the same photo side by side. On the left, this is the photo coming from my personal Google Photos account, Chris, and I have not yet gotten the new web editing features. On the right-hand side is just a different account. It's a test account I call Alice, and she has received the new editors. So I am going to be able to show you side by side. So the editing button is the same. I'm going to click the edit button on my account, and you see 3 menus. This one is filters, adjustments, and crop and rotate. On Alice's account, I click the same button for edit, and she has 5, but notice the filters is just at the far right rather than at the left, adjustments, and crop and rotate. So the same 3 old menus are there, plus 2 more. I'm going to edit this photo with the old menu and then do the same with the new menu using the same features. So this photo is too dark. Notice I have light here. I can just make it lighter, but that makes the whole thing lighter. I don't like that. If you click on the down arrow, it reveals all the options underneath light, and I just want to make the shadows lighter. I drag that over. I like that better. Now for color, I think there should be more color in here, but once again, and I'm going to close the light up so we see it. If I just drag over on color, that increases all the colors. What I want is for there to be more of a sunrise color, which would be warmth. So I drill down by clicking the drop down arrow, and I'll just drag warmth over. Ooh, I like that. Then I like the pop option. It makes it just brighter. So that was all done on the old menu. Issue is they kept things neat and tidy underneath drop-down arrows. The last thing I want to do to this picture is crop it. So I click on the crop tool, and I can just drag however I want. But let's say I need this to be a perfect square for some reason. On the old menu, this is the aspect ratio button. I click it and I see my options. I can choose square. Now, no matter how I crop it, it's going to be a perfect square. And I am done with that. Now I'm going to do the same things using the new menu. Same picture. I click on adjustments, and instead of having to drill down, they're all here. There's the one for shadows. Keep scrolling down and I get to the ones for color. I increase the warmth and scroll down some more and I see pop. Then when I click on crop, all of the aspect ratios are available. I click square, and now it is a perfect square. Now, to show you the new features, I've switched to a different photo because it is pictures of people's faces that are most affected by the new features. So I'm using Alice's account because she has the new one, and click Edit. And notice under Suggestions, we're going to have a completely different set. It takes a minute to analyze the photo and gives us suggestions based on this photo. So, portrait. And since this is a multicolored one, you need to be a Google One subscriber, meaning you can't be just using the free version of Google Photos. You have to be paying at least $2 a month. So that has accentuated our faces and put the background in a little bit of a blur. But here's another one, Color Pop. That puts the background in black and white and leaves the people in the foreground in color. Now I go over to Tools, and I have even more. I can click Blur, and now the background is not only black and white, it is also blurred, and I can blur it even more, dragging this little slider over. So those are some of the new features, and they will be different depending on what the photo is that you're using. So notice, though, that the really good feature, Magic Eraser, not on the computer yet. You know,
They'll get there.
They keep trying to make them all the same, you know, in baby steps. So yeah, maybe we'll get it, but it doesn't. Okay, so questions. Well, I saw just one. Okay, it's a comment up above. Kathleen Steed.
Yeah.
And the if you have an iPhone and you really want to add text to a picture, you can't do it with Google Photos. Google Photos does not have the markup text feature on the iOS version, but the Apple Photos does. Now, it's kind of buried. Yeah, if any of our members coming to the Backstage Pass need to see that, I can show you. It is buried in the Apple Photos, but once you do it in the Apple Photos, then it's on that picture, and Google Photos will see it. So you only need to go to Apple Photos for that one thing and still do everything else with Google Photos. And somebody, how do you make the motion pictures using Android? What, it depends. Mine is a Samsung. So in a Samsung, and we have several videos and a whole button show episode on motion photos, but I'll just show you. On a Samsung, in the camera, it's this little button right here, the one that looks like a play button. Tap it and it says motion photo on. Tap it again, it says motion photo off. So if motion photo is on, whenever you snap a photo, it's a motion photo. It captures 3 seconds of video along with the photo. Okay, we good?
I think so. Wow, it's that time, huh? Did you learn something? I did. The multicolored one badge on editing tools means you must be what kind of subscriber?
Google One. Google One is Google's way of giving you things if you pay something. You get 100 gigabytes of storage as opposed to the free 15 gigabytes if you pay $2 a month.
But worth it.
But you also get these premium editing tools, which I think in themselves are worth it.
$2, yeah, if you use them, and you should. Okay, if you don't want to make the entire photo lighter or darker, use the adjustment called A, brush, B, B, shadows, or C, highlights?
The one that I showed several times is shadows. So parts of the photo are dark in the shadows. Just increase the number in the shadows and you don't blow out the background.
Okay. Google Photos can add text to a photo if you're using this version: A, iOS, B, Android, or C, web.
Android. But as we discussed, in iOS, you can use the Apple Photos to add text, and then Google will see it.
All right. True or false? Most every photo can benefit from a crop and enhance.
I think so. It seems like that's where I start anyway with every photo. Can I make it look better by getting closer to the subject, cropping? And then what does enhance do? Or if you have the premium tools, dynamic is really a good one.
All right. And the callouts in Chris's Google Photos book give the link to A, companion web page, B, videos, or C, dated changes.
The callouts give the link to the companion web page. Then the companion web page gives you links to a bunch of videos and all the changes by date.
Okay.
I see one new.
Yeah, I see it too. Well, we did that one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Richard says that he has motion on his S21. Barbara, is motion the same as iPhone Live?
Yes. I often say, live/motion. It's live on iPhone, it's motion on Samsung. It's top shot on
my Pixel.
On Pixel, and it's a little bit different.
And it doesn't work the same, and it's not as good. I think it's not quite as good.
Yeah. I like the motion on the Samsung better.
I'm going to leave feedback to Google.
Send feedback.
I'm going to talk to Mr. Google about this. Okay? All right. So, Backstage Pass, I want to remind everybody that we still have that going on. It's right after this show. It's a Zoom meeting that you can find on our webpage or on an email that Chris sent out earlier today. Okay?
And do you notice that picture on the right? That's called a cinematic photo. It starts as a still. You just took a still photo. But if you're a premium member and you come and join us in the Backstage Pass, I'm going to show you how you can make this cinematic photo. It's been making them for us once in a while and just producing them in that memories section.
But you couldn't make them yourself.
But you couldn't make them yourself. Now you can, and I'll show you how in the Backstage Pass.
All right. What's the webpage, Chris, that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show. You'll see all 260 of them listed under there. And if you're a premium member, you will get the show notes. And they're not just a listing, it's a detailed handout of everything taught in that episode.
And then where's the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find newsletters under there.
Good place to look. And why do people pay $58 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
Because they like us.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
But they do get benefits.
Yeah.
They get benefits like the Backstage Pass, like our new Pick a Tip, Learn Something New Today. It's a special webpage just for members. Access to hundreds of the Show Me videos and the written notes from the button shows.
Quick question. If you use the 16 by 9 size, will it fill your computer screen like it does on the phone?
Well, 16 by 9 is a ratio, so it depends on the ratio of your computer screen.
Right.
That is a wide.
Normal.
That's a wide screen, so
right.
yeah. But yeah, it's so much more impressive when a picture fills the screen rather than just has black bars on the side.
I think so. All right, so become a member at geeksontour.com/join now. It's a great deal. We think so anyway.
You'll have early access to the updated Google Photos book.
That's right. Sign up for our newsletters, geeksontour.com/news. Members get all of these benefits and more. Subscribe to this channel. It would be really good. It helps us get more subscribers because we like you. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are
Geeks on Tour.
See you next time. Thank you so much.